Hello again, PCQIs, and welcome back to All About Compliance channel. In this segment, we're going to be reviewing complaint management program in accordance or in compliance with, or in accordance to comply with 21 CFR 117, which is all we know. It's our CGMP HARP-C for human food. This is going to be section 410, subsection E. Here we go again. So I'm just going to read some of this as I'm reviewing it. It says, if the owner, operator, or agent in charge of a receiving facility determines through auditing, verification, testing, document review, relevant consumer, customer, or other complaints, or otherwise that the supplier is not controlling hazards that the receiving facility has identified as requiring a supply chain applied control, the receiving facility must take and document prompt action in accordance with 117.150 of the Act to ensure that raw materials or other ingredients from the supplier do not cause the food that is manufactured or processed by the receiving facility to be adulterated under Section 402 of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, or misbranded under Section 403 W of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. Okay, so that's kind of like the purpose of this that was sent over to me. So I'm here to make a quick assessment. So the scope of the program that was drafted covers customer complaint received. So this is specifically for the complaint, even though the purpose of it actually entails the whole entire auditing, verification, testing, and document review. But this is really more about customer or other complaints in that section of the Code of Federal Regulation. Customer complaints investigation, customer complaints responses, customer complaints trends, corporate entity complaint management system, handling serious complaints, complaint risk assessment, and records. Okay, so they put a policy here where the company had deployed these type of policies for handling their complaints. So let's kind of take a look at what they have here for their procedures on their particular policy. So part of this has a section for procedures for customer complaints received. So the customer service or company personnel are documented using the customer complaint report. So they have a report which will review as well what that looks like. The report is compiled. Submit the report to upper management, quality, or operations manager with the following information. So basically, the report's going to have a date on it, which is great. Customer name, phone, address, so basic information. The product name and product description. Product Julian date. In this, I guess this thing refers to the lot batch code. So I'm sure we're going to get some instruction here how to obtain that. They're also going to be asking about the expiration date, the purchase date, and the purchase location. Obviously, if you're complaining, you will be asking those questions to kind of pinpoint for your traceability. Okay, person contacted. So this is good. So basically, if they're gonna annotate who took the call, the nature of the complaint, action taken to prevent the complaint from recurring. So in this event, the area has not been resolved. Leave it blank, and it's got some good information. Have the quality or operations manager document the corrective action and include it with the report and the date of the resolution. Okay, so that's kind of the customer complaint received and reporting. They added a section here for customer complaint investigations, which is they have a form, the investigation corrective action report. So they have a CAPA, I assume. So let's see what does it have. So personnel initiating the investigation document the investigation of the complaint by filling out the investigation corrective action report, filling out the following areas. So now we have the report. It's going through the investigation, so it's kind of giving us a little bit more details of what it has. And I'm going to be commenting on this assessment as we build it and sending it back to our client. But I'm just reviewing it with all of you PCQI, see what they have here, and see what you guys can pinpoint. Maybe you can improve your own process while you're listening to me make an assessment or initial assessment of this program. So in the investigation, they put a date initiated by, product affected, lot number or code date, what is the product line, summary of complaint, so they're actually referring it to the customer complaint report information, investigation and quality members, so document the personnel involved in the investigation. That's good. So if you participated in the investigation, obviously you're going to have some input, and they're actually documenting that. That's very good. Describing the problem and the root cause, so they're actually going to do the 5 why exercise. That's excellent. Corrective actions, and they're going to put track it with the client's ID number within their system, and then the claim receive date, claim and defect quantity, so that's for your traceability. Any remarks or comment. Pictures of the problem, if they are applicable, basically they have it noted here, collect them. Pictures of the root cause for explanation. Pictures of the corrective action, completed by and date. So they even have a simple instruction for the forms, which is good. We call them SWSs. Some of you know them as work instruction, or basically a quick instruction of how to fill out the forms. Okay. So, and then they have a method. This is for SCAR. So they inserted a supplier corrective action request form. So in the event that the customer complaint derives from a product or process or manufactured by the other company or their co-manufacturer, the SCAR will be then provided for that. On the SCAR part of it, they actually also put in some information to look out for. So this is good. I like this part because if you're doing an internal audit or any type of audit or assessment check, it actually tells you what's on their program or their policy, what to look for. So when you're looking at the form, they kind of match. So that's a very, very good exercise to have. They put a SCAR tracking number on it, the request date, received date, submitted by, date and time, submitted to, and then the supplier's information, and obviously in this event the customer name. And if you are submitting it and it's your supplier, you are also the customer, the facility address or the address of the complainant. In this event, we're the one who's complaining, right? So it's going to be our information on it, on this car. Contact, that is important to have so they can get a hold of the person. His phone number, as well as email address. Location issuing the SCAR, you might have multiple facility just in case, so you might want to have that added. The product from the supplier, so just for the sake of example, let's say you have ordered sugar and the sugar has some issue, and you would be putting your sugar supplier there. Product code that they're using, their product lot, PO number, product quantity, follow steps 1 through 7 of the form. Okay, so there's actually other additional supplier requirement which they'll fill out. Perfect. Customer complaint responses, so they put a procedure for that. These are the methods. So basically, they're instructing the customer service personnel to respond to the complaint based on the investigation results and corrective actions. That's nice. So because sometimes you have in food manufacturing, there's a complaint and your suppliers or your manufacturing or co-man. Sometimes they don't give you an update of what actually happened, right? They just they're not very open. So this is nice. It's part of the policy. Quality personnel document all findings utilizing the applicable forms to be referenced for customer response. So they actually have a form for that to use as well for tracking. Let me see, and they put a kind of a feel good here, right? It says it is a good practice to always inform the complainant of the outcome of the investigation and corrective action. So it's not really a method, it's just kind of a inserted comment. And they're basically stating that, keep an eye out on the timeline and the workflow of the complaint, respond to them within 24 to 48 hours, address them, and also when you're working with if it's a SCAR, you're inquiring with your supplier, follow up with them within 48 to 72 hours, and then up to 7 days per regulatory requirement to address these type of complaints. Okay, and also for customer complaint trends. So because of this specific function, I'm just going to read some of these examples that they put on here. This might be applicable to your process. It might not, but some good examples here. So they've added some of those categories. Such they want a trend for moisture, so foreign object, short count, handling, general quality, packaging, mold, shelf life, texture, wrong code. The date, weights, and they left some spaces there to be added at a later date. But they wanted to trend those specific example based on their product characteristics. Okay, trending data is maintained on a monthly basis and an annual basis reporting. So that's good. When I audit this, I should say, it actually tells me for the trending on a monthly basis, so I can actually verify that if their trend analysis can pull out those report on a monthly basis because they declared it here. Corporate entity complaint management system. So basically the corporate side also has a reporting system, and handling serious complaint methods. It's basically, let me see, serious complaints are handled in a manner appropriate for their impact. The procedures defines how they are handled and should address the following. So in this part of the handling of serious complaint, it's timelines. So, for their investigation, analysis, and corrective workflow, that's important to them, or to this actual process that they've written out. And complaints where there is likely or actual threatened litigation. So that's also, sometimes people are upset when they complain and, they start using words like legal, I'm gonna sue you, I'm gonna see you in court. So they're actually on the corporate level for handling serious complaint, they're actually addressing that on their procedure to do basically the steps to address those type of threatened litigation comments. Risk assessment and the necessity for a product recall withdrawal, right? It's also there. Obligation for the notification of the issue to customer and regulatory authorities. So they're actually putting that in this program. And obviously this is 21 CFR 117, which we are familiar with as current good manufacturing practices for our HARP-C for human food. Complaint risk assessment, so they put a risk assessment as well for high, medium, or low risk. So basically the high, medium risk complaints category are related to products that may cause illness, injury, or death if consumed by the customer or consumer. So they're looking at, they've identified some sections which are physical contamination such as glass, plastic, wood, insects, metal, etc. So that's some of the physical contamination identified. Now on this one, on some of your preventive controls, especially on certification standard, you would see the glass, hard plastic, foreign object, and all of that materials inspection checklist. So this kind of coincide with that. Pathogenic contamination, chemical contamination, and allergen contamination. Those are high and medium, excuse me. So the low risk one, it's basically for damaged packaging, label, quality issues such as off taste, color, packaging print quality, incorrect quantity in the bottle. For me, I think the label it's damage label. Excuse me, PCQIs, because I would escalate label to the to the high, to the high medium above it, because if you mislabeled it, it's supposed to be a blue product and it's a red product, because of it was mislabeled. So excuse me for that. So complaint records are retained and include all corrective actions taken, and they are maintained by the quality department. That's good. So during an audit, you can actually ask for those because you know where they're at. And complaints are logged in using the complaint log record. Now, some of our clients, we build these type of complaint management software to comply with this. If you're interested on that, let us know so we can demo that to you. It kind of covers these type of programs if you wanted to automate or digitize your complaint management program. Back to this, okay, responsibilities. So customer service personnel, they are responsible in obviously taking the calls and initiating the forms, submitting the complaints to the proper department, such as quality department or senior management. Submitting and collecting the SCAR from the supplier. It's also given to them in the event it is a supplier related complaint. And the quality personnel is tasked to investigate the complaints and perform the corrective actions and closing them out. All right, next section for this one, PCQIs, they've added a review section. Basically, the review section is for the quality department or the quality unit, what to look for on an annual review, as well as when things change in this program. So they put review the customer complaint records from the customers or regulatory authorities or consumers. Review the customer complaint procedure to include collecting customer complaint data, investigating complaints, and managing corrective actions. Investigation of the interface between a corporate reporting function and site knowledge and investigation of customer complaint if and where applicable, right? So you need to review those. And lastly, investigation of outcomes of corrective action taken because of customer complaint investigation. So they actually, it's nice to have a review section on your program, what you need to look for. So on an annual basis, it's really a great practice to have that. So as an auditor or as a PCQI, you know what to look for, and you can always build on that section of your program. And one of the nice things I like about this is they put a reference document, so all of the forms, training materials or that needs to be filled out or systems are actually inserted in the program. So then the program kind of spider webs to what you're supposed to fill out. So during an audit, you can actually ask for these records or for these forms that make sure they're filled out to make sure they're complying on this specific program or policy of the company. And I'll read some of those to you that they put on here. Actually, the customer complaint report is one. Investigation of the corrective action report or ICAR, and the SCAR, which is supplier corrective action request form. And they have the trend analysis, log record, CAPA's management review program, and as well as their product and withdrawal recall. So this is actually connected to another program. And then they put the reference on the 21 CFR 117 verbiage on the bottom and the date. And of course, the history of the document, that it is original and there are no changes. So anyways, PCQI, thank you for watching this segment and thank you for your subscription. Till next time, have a great day and keep it going. Contact us and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Thanks again, PCQIs. Have a good one.